Hey guys, this is Jim, aka Armor Ammo with PC War Machine at PCWarMachine.com. We are covering the E-25 today. The E-25 is just now available with the 8.7 patch, which went live last night. I was up playing at 1 a.m. Pacific Standard when it went off, and the first thing I thought of was, ooh, tomorrow I can buy my E-25. And let me just kind of go over the tank basically. It is a German tank destroyer, Tier 7. It is very small. I just want you to get a kind of a graphic here. There's, an AMX AC-48. There's the E-25. This is a Jagd Tiger. This is an E-25. This is even SU-100M E-25. This thing is just so small. I mean, look at the profile in this versus, say, the AT-15. I mean, look how much more space you have to hit at there. Probably 3 times the amount of frontal area. The armor on this tank, on paper, is not very, doesn't look very good. It's 50 millimeters on the front, which is slightly, probably at a 45-degree angle, angled there, and also you've got basically the same on, the lower glacis as well as the front. You've got a mantlet area, which is probably pretty well armored right here. But, you've got a weak spot and a vision port. You've got this gun on the top, which I assume you can probably shoot. From the side, there's a lot of clearance over the tracks, so you can shoot through under here. You don't have to worry about hitting the upper armor. The back is only 30 millimeters thick, so again, a little bit of angling there. But this tank has speed, though, going for it. It's got 700 horsepower, 830 hit points. And 65 miles per hour kph, 65 kph, excuse me. So with a traverse speed of 44, you can see that speed and to some degree survivability is the name of this tank. It was the name of the game with this tank. I've played this tank about 10 games now. Let me just double check on that. Go down to my lower end here. 8 games actually. 8 games. I have a 63% win rate. Just statistics-wise, you can see I've already got a special... I don't have an E level yet, but I have a special damage of 2.13 already. I have done total experience 9490, average experience per battle 1186, and maximum experience per battle 2037. I wouldn't even say that I'm really well, versed in the tank yet. I also have a decent crew, but without any perks whatsoever, any completed perks. I just have camo working on them started at about 35%, so you can see I've already got up to 65% with those guys. Anyway, so I've been running it. I was running it with the gun rammer, but to be honest, because this crew is not up to speed on camo skills, I decided to add the camo net and the binoculars and the exhaust fan. So I was running it with a gun rammer. It did seem to give me a little bit of an edge in terms of just total, rounds per minute kind of thing. But that is the name of the game with this gun, because this gun is the 7.5 centimeter Stuke 42 L70. So very similar L70 gun to say the Stug. So let me go into my research tree here and just show you. Okay, so here's the Stug gun. And here's so label-wise, they're exactly the same. But you can see that the E-25 has a 20 rate of fire versus 13 to 15, 16 seconds. Probably with a skilled true and a gun rammer, you're going to get 16 at least. Aiming time, quicker. Accuracy, a little more accurate. Weight is a lot lesser. Essentially, they're saying this is a more advanced gun, even though it's named exactly the same thing. They should have given it some kind of little extra, like a designator or something. Looks like it fires the same APCR and the same HE rounds. So anyway, so you can see it is the same L70 gun, but it's kind of special. Trying to think of other tanks I've played with that L70. The 3002D, obviously, is another tank that I've used the L70 with, and that one has can potentially have a slightly slower rate of fire than the Stug. Same again, alpha and penetration, a little worse accuracy, a little longer aiming time. So, if only the L70 was the same on every tank, I'm sure we'd all love it with 20 rounds per minute. I do think that this tank is a little OP. It is going to get nerfed. I mean, I'll kind of let the cat out of the bag on the first outing with this tank. Without any experience and with this crew, I got ace mastery, over 3k in damage. I didn't get Top Gun or anything like that. This is a flea. This is a tank that annoys the crap out of the enemy team because it can simply sneak up, or it could come out of hiding. It could be in hiding. Obviously, it basically can just do so many things. I have gotten so much spotting damage in this tank without even, I think in one game I got more spotting damage than I actually got actual damage, hit regular penetration damage, direct fire damage. So that is also another asset to this tank, because the view range is only 360 and I'm running it just like you see here with the periscopes, but I guess sitting still with my periscopes running, bumping up the view range 25%, you're seeing at least 400 probably then, and it's got a good radio with 710 signal range, so you're gonna broadcast out your spots to a large audience. And I'll show you one particular game on El Haluf. I was not I think that was my second or third game, and I didn't think I was doing all that well until I looked at the final stats, because another E-25 in that game, he either got Top Gun or he was right at 5 kills, and I was only at 2. So anyways, I'll show you some highlights, or show you some of the better interesting battles. In 8 battles, let's put it this way, I've already had more interesting games in these 8 battles than in like the last 50 battles in some tanks. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and switch to those. Okay, well, some good news. It looks like 8.6 replays are compatible with 8.7, so you'll be able to play your replays in 8.7, 8.6 replays in 8.7, which is good. All right, so here I am, first battle in the E-25. As you can see, I already bought camouflage and everything. Actually, this is just 7-day camouflage. I'm going to wait until they have a 50% off sale or something before I actually purchase permanent camouflage. But anyway, but again, same crew, so everybody's 100%, but their camo ratings, which is the only perk they have or skill, is around 35 or 40%, I think. And I was just gonna have fun this game. I really wasn't taking it all that seriously, like I kind of normally do when I play. So I'm just gonna let you watch and kind of we'll go from there. You can see again, here's a Yog Panther right next to me, and in terms of scale, it's just pretty amazing. The difference in size between the two. I'm rotating the camera about. If you guys, for newer players, if you don't know how that's done, because I've seen that asked on a couple different boards, it is a right mouse function where you click on the right mouse and you rotate, and you'll see around you. You can actually keep driving, obviously, and look around. So it's helpful for turreted vehicles, because you don't want to sometimes crank your view around. Even though you're going straight or something. And for TDs, it's also beneficial because you can look around, because you can't turn and look in a TD. You've got to be able to obviously keep your direction going forward. I decided this little hutch or whatever it is, the little thing was in my way, so I shot it. Now pretty soon I'm going to have one of these new I think it's an MT-15 coming at me. Yep. And I missed some really easy shots here. So I could have done even better in this game, but I just was kind of getting used to it. And again, this was my first game of the day, as a matter of fact, so wasn't quite yet warmed up. And then this AC-46 decided to ruin my day by blocking me in there and not giving me any shots. And I was like, okay, well, let's see what this thing can do in assault mode. So at this point I said, all right, enough with the sniping tank destroyer mode. Let's go into... I heard from Quickie Baby and some others who had tested out this tank that it worked great as an assault tank, so we're going to trust it out. So, got a critical hit on the IS-7, no damage, no visible damage anyways. Then I just start... look at this. This is the... Watch this. This is really the strength of this tank. This T-29 doesn't even know what the heck is getting him. Now looking towards my direction, I don't think he can hit me. So I keep firing, and then again, the AC-MLE, or the MLE AC-46 decides to come in and ruin my day, again, by stealing my kill. It was just, I'm sorry, that's just bastard play there. Okay, so then I'm trying to pick up a new target. I decide not to go in. I knew these guys are all going to go and chase them. I'm kind of surveying the map and seeing what's going on, where I might be the most needed, and I think I saw a Stug, or I didn't realize he was behind those buildings. I thought he was actually in front of me. So I kind of went over to look for that Stug. Then I saw this AT-7. Now watch this. I would have thought I would be toast here. But he hits me a couple of times. He does some damage, but very little. And then I just find a little corner here and essentially start... I wanted to track him. So I did. And then I'm kind of debating, well, do I want to stay here and just keep tracking him so he isn't able to aim or get a good shot at my teammates? And then I also saw this E2 moving up, and he was pretty dumb because he was a 2-hit for me. And you can see the rapid rate of fire on this tank. It's just massive. I mean, it just keeps going and going. Oh, and watch this. I mean, this is not my typical normal play style, but because this tank is so fast, you can do stuff like this. I left the AT-7 behind because I knew I could essentially come back and get him later. So, in this poor T-21, he's like, "Get me away from this monster!" So, there's my second kill. And the AT-7 did not turn around to face me because he probably figured I was going off somewhere else. But no, I decided to basically, fix on him. If I remember correctly, he was one of their better players, so I knew I wanted to get rid of him. So then I said, okay, well, this VK, I'll take care of him. And I think someone stole me that one too, or beat me to it. And then I just parked myself behind this guy. Now I'm curious what would have happened if he'd pulled forward and pulled back and rammed me a few times. But never going to find out. Decided I need a little more space there to actually... You can see this gun has really no issues penning. I mean, with 150 millimeters of pen, yeah, you do have to hit some weak spots or essentially, hit them in the right spot. But, what the heck tank is that not true for? I mean, there are very few guns in this game that can penetrate every time they shoot. You usually do need to concentrate, because if you're in a higher tier, even a tier 10 match, I cannot just shoot anything with my E100. Even with gold ammo or APCR ammo, I cannot just shoot anything and expect it to go through. So then there's this T1 Heavy. I didn't quite figure out how I was going to get him. I know I didn't want to just come around that corner. And critical hit. And again, it's just the rate of fire on this is just amazing. This one I knew I was maybe in a little danger on, so I tried to come up slowly, but that was the end of that game. So really, 3 kills. Okay, so here's the stats for that game. As you can see, it was my mastery for that tank. No other awards, but for first out of the gate battle, 4132 experience. It was a double. We did 3,000 damage, 3,085 damage, 42 shots fired, 36 direct hits, and 30 penetrations. I received 5 hits with 4 penetrations, and potential damage I received was 455. I also got damage on detecting on that game of spotting damage of 406, so keep that in mind. The tank looks like it performed monetarily very well, 74,000 in that first game. I did not fire a single round of APCR because I didn't have any. That says a lot, I think. But this is a loss, but just essentially watch what this... People will probably wonder... that's me there putting I'm in love, because that's after my first game. People will probably wonder how this tank will do in terms of, the low. The low could be a game changer. I kind of changed my direction here. I was going to go to the forest, and I realized I want to go up to the corner position and spot tanks and stuff. So, and I run into a boulder there. That was nice. While I was typing. So I'm saying, hey, I'm going to put this video up of the first game. So, hey, I am. Anyway, so I just want to show this battle because, or this part of the battle. We actually lose this fight. I'll go ahead and play it all the way through, though, because it was kind of interesting just from a standpoint of, what the tank is capable of doing and what the tank, at least with me playing it the second time, was not capable of doing. But essentially, one-time speed, that would help. I decided to use this little notch area here and see how good the gun depression is. And it's good because they can, in this position, I don't think they ever successfully get a good hit on me. They see that I'm there pretty soon after I fire, obviously. Although I might keep my camo for a little while. I don't have Sixth Sense on this, so I don't... Now, I think I've been seeing... I think the KB1S looked at me. But you can see, 244 damage already. But what's amazing is... And I didn't realize this when it was happening, but they give up. They actually... I mean, look what's down there. A T-32, an AMX-12T, a Panther II, and a... now there's a KV-4 on the other side. I didn't realize that. But a Jackson, a Panther, a T-32, the AMX-12 just bought it. But I mean, I don't know how many shots I've fired. Quite a few. And I just keep it up. And I think they This tank is intimidating. I mean, I just forced an IS-6, a T-59, and a KV-1S to divert to the other side of the hill. I mean, think about that. I've never played a game in any tank, especially being up in this position, where the team decides to go to the other side of the hill. And that's what happened. I sit up here for a little while wondering, where'd y'all go? And then I realize, oh, they're on the other side of the hill. So then I take off and go over the other side. And unfortunately, I did not use great wisdom on the other side. I engaged poorly, and I died. And I think my team easily lost this game. I mean, look, we're already at, 9-4. Oh, I did do another bit of damage there. So yeah, the T-59 kills me. So this is the info on the Murovanka battle. You can see earned 22,000 roughly silver, 255 experience, 16 shots fired, 14 direct hits, only 6 penetrations though. So I was just hitting a lot of T-59 IS, KV-1S hard points. But again, potential damage received was 820, which was my whole life, obviously, and because I'm dead, and I damaged 2 enemies. So not very. I only show this this info to show that I still made 15,000 on this with a premium account. Not sure what I made. I guess I would have made 14,000 without. So I still would have made 7,500 even without a premium account, being a premium tank, obviously. So next. Okay, so this is Redshire. I'm going to go ahead and go up to the top of the hill here. Let me speed it up a bit. Get through all the battle starts in. I'm going to move up here to the top of the hill, and don't, again, play this a lot this way anymore, because it seems like I usually go west these days, but I decide with this thing and its apparently good view range, as well as its ability to stay undetected, that I might be able to do really good spotting damage up here. To be honest, I probably should have pulled to where that, well, it might have not worked on this tank, but if I'd pulled to where the AMX-12T is roughly a little further ahead of that, or ahead of him, there's a nice bush over there that you can spot from. But unfortunately, in this match, I might have gotten spotted by that AMX-12T because you can, if you don't fire, you can stay and spot it and get a lot of damage. The other reason not to play it that way in this game was there was no artillery, so. So I get a shot off here on the T-29, so that leads me off with a nice 100 and something, 33. Pretty much that's what this gun puts out. 133, 129, 130, in that range. I kind of lead there and realize, oh, you impacted him. The MT-15 rams, or excuse me, the MT-25 rams somebody to death. The AMX-12T. So there's the AMX-12T out of the game. And then the enemy team, they never really stack up too much on that hill. They actually come over here for the most part. We've got the T-69 trying to spot over the hill, poke over the hill. I don't know what I was doing. I was just hoping that the magic tank, it can shoot anything. This Leopard I probably could have hit, well, the shot where I told it to shoot. I got one critical hit, which, what the heck was it? I mean, I probably damaged his tracks, but obviously didn't track him completely. I'm going to speed this up a bit because they really stay behind these hills for quite a bit. I probably do get off a few good shots here. I mean, I've got 382 damage. I move up here to this position. I'm going to go ahead and pull back on the view. So I'm up here. Again, I've still only got 382. So I'm just not, there's no targets. The problem is they're behind the hill, and I think I think the T-52 shoots me here in a second. Or maybe no, that was when I was just trying to spot him. So I'm going to speed this up again, ×4. I think I take a shot here, but then the T-25 pops up at some point and takes a shot at me. Oh, I'm sorry. I did essentially do quite a bit of damage on this T-59 that came over. And notice I'm having to be very careful about where I'm shooting because that Lux is trying to stay hidden from the fire of the other tanks. And I'm trying to go ahead and kill him because I know the Lux might not be able to pen him even at that range. So, and then I am in... So, 10 that was not good, I hit my mic, sorry. 1063 damage, 10, 11, 12 damage. Keep waiting for that T-25 to pop out and shoot me. Or at least shoot me from wherever he is. And I want to get this T-69 who's pretty much at full health. I'd just like to knock him down a little bit. Potentially do some module damage or something. And then I realized there's just nobody over there that, even though that Super Pershing is full health, he doesn't want to risk coming around the corner, I guess, which I have a game recently I played which did not work out too well for me when I went around a corner with 5 or 6 tanks ready to shoot me. So I decided to see if I can maybe spot up here and use this flank of, or this hedge of bushes. Not really a hedge, but a little wild hedge. And I think at some point I get spotted here. Or at least I might have already been spotted. Again, I don't know, so I'm kind of just going on the, well, I guess they'll start shooting at me if I'm spotted. And I want that T-69, but I need to wait a little bit and be patient. Be patient. Okay, so here's my move. I go in, and I get a couple of good shots on him. Oh, well, that would have been a good shot if I'd just been a little more patient. And then he's trying to worry about the SP, I guess, who's also wailing on him. But he really probably should have worried about me, because that SP shoots very slowly while I shoot very fast. So, now I'm up to 1,500 damage. And this infuriated me. Fire! No. Fire! No. Fire! Okay, now that I'm zoomed in. Got him, finally. And I don't know why this T-150 and this other Super Pershing, I don't think they just arrived. Why they've just been sitting over here the entire time while the poor T-69 has just been dying, and they're just sitting over there waiting to get shot at, I guess. I mean, literally this SP never moves from where he's right at with this rock. He's behind a rock, and that's where I'm going to stay, damn it. And I get stuck on this stupid hill. That is my one serious pet peeve. I guess it's intentional, obviously. Don't run up against hills, because tracks don't work against hills very well. But it's so annoying. I try to get a decent shot in on this. Well, I get one I thought decent shot in. Nope, maybe not. Nope, he's dead. All right, so that's a Red Shower game. Obviously, let's see how we did on that one. Okay, so here's the results on that one. Again, not incredibly impressive. 1,189 experience, 47,000 credits. I made 41,000 because I didn't really get damaged, and I was, again, not shooting any APCR. I probably should have shot some APCR at one point, but I didn't. 34 shells fired, 23 direct hits, and 14 penetration, so even below 50% of what I fired in total. Okay, so this is the El Haluf battle that I alluded to earlier. This one, I think this map is probably pretty well suited for the E-25 because there's so many places you can snipe from. It's got good view range distance. This is the battle I was referring to earlier where I got really good spotting damage and didn't even realize that I was doing it at the time. I love how the M41 is commenting and saying, "What am I doing in this tier group? There are other tier 5 tanks. This is a tier 7 game. Tier 5 tanks do appear in tier 7 games." I guess the artillery are getting used to the more like parity thing where they're like, used to be artillery were always at the bottom. You know, if you were in a tier 8 game, you were playing against tier 5 and tier 6 artillery sometimes. But now that they've shifted it around, there's a little bit more parity. You still see, usually in a tier 10 game, you don't see tier 10 arty, unless you're in a really like max T10 game. A tier 12 game. Okay, so I go to a good spot, I think, and again, I don't know, maybe I do spot some people. I don't spot anybody coming down here, but there is this M7 over there who I decide to shift over and take a shot at, but before I can get to him, somebody else beats me to it. Boom, he's dead. So then I decide to wait, because somebody will pop through this little channel gap here, and it's just right at my edge of vision. And plus those M7s are moving up, so they should light up stuff for me. I take a silly shot here at the Churchill Mark 7. That was never really going to do much, probably, not unless he pulled out a little further. But then, to my surprise, what appears? No, not reindeer. Is the little troop of guys here, and I think I get a nice shot off this. I tracked that Panzer IV, and then just kind of fired a few times. Well, probably like 4 times, because I didn't see him. So I figured, well, he must still be sitting there maybe. But then I see that he's over to the left. But we did chop off quite a bit of his health there. I believe the next test for the poor little E-25. Oh, by the way, notice that there's an E-25 also on my team. I looked it up afterwards. This was what, my 3rd game? Well, this was this guy's 38th game, so he'd been playing the E-25 for a while. I think I do manage to maybe... Well, I hit him at some point here. A little too much lead that time, Jim. And he just blew up. I guess he got hit microseconds before I destroyed him. Now notice, I do not have Sixth Sense again, so I do not know whether I'm being spotted. I assume not, because nobody's shooting at me, so that's always a good thing. And then almost, I think right away here, this is what I was talking about earlier, actually. I don't get any shots on these guys, but all of a sudden, up the hill comes a slow-moving AT-7! Yes, this is the greatest play you can make in the world, AT-7. Put yourself out on the side of the hill there, so you're perfectly situated for your enemy tanks to shoot at you. Now, I did not do a lot of damage on this, obviously, but that said, if I had been another AT-7 or a tank that had more pen than I have, he would have been toast. So he's lucky I was only in an E-25. And notice that the other E-25 is now up to 3 kills. Maybe someone should go around and hit them from the side. So actually, I see the other E-25. That's what I'm watching here, moving up, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe he wants to go ahead and flank. So let's push over to the other side and do some flanking. And you can see this tank does a good job of scooting rapidly over to the other side of the map. Again, I think I was not spotted here. I never saw anyone take any interest in me. In fact, it's going to be rather hilarious where I decide to sit and shoot, and yet none of the tanks higher up above me either ever see me through a proximity spot or know I'm there. Actually, I should take that back. At some point they do, but I'm here for a long time and like nobody even notices me. I mean, this Tiger, for example, you'd think he would have seen me. I think he does fire at me, actually. So he sees me, so he lights me up. Well, I'm not really 100% sure. Actually, I don't think he ever did fire at me. So maybe I'm able to maintain my cover here, or my camo. You can see, though, this thing is a flea. It just keeps biting and biting you, and at some point you may die. I even got a cheeky shot on that other Tiger's barrel. So then I know that Churchill Mark 7 is still up here. Unfortunately, I didn't count on the Tiger P, and he does spot me. He's the one who actually prevents me from continuing with this rather insane attempt here. I'm kind of like, okay, well maybe my camo's reset, and maybe I can move up. Because again, he's right at the very edge of, detection range, essentially. But now I'm about to be proximity spotted, so I'm sure I am now. And so this Churchill's just oblivious. I mean, and boom, I go right through his. So you can see I got hit there. I got hit again. Although that one didn't do any damage. This tank does eat and bounce a lot of shots. I don't know if you've been paying attention in some of the other battles, but so here I'm noticing another E-25, and I do pretty much almost do him in. That's kind of a theme with this tank. I don't think I've yet won a Top Gun in this tank, because it is actually difficult to be the killing blow sometimes, because you're always doing that 135-ish damage, and then somebody, you knock the enemy down to nothing, and someone just, takes it. So that is one aspect of this tank. You're going to have to get used to damage, not maybe potential kills. Because again, look at the other E-25. 4 kills versus mine, none. I've got 1,300 damage at this point, roughly. But you will be surprised when I show you the stats. Oh, darn it, I gave it away. Okay, well, you won't be surprised, but you would have been surprised if I hadn't have told you that you hadn't have been surprised. Okay, well, I know that Yog Panther's over here somewhere, so I'm trying to be cautious and move up slowly and potentially get him spotted before. Oh, and there he is. So I was like, okay, well, again, I'm not sure he saw me until I fired. And I try to get around him, which I do. Speed. Momentum is your friend. And sure enough, he's turned around. But then I decide, well, my M7 over there's not going to just leave him alone, and he doesn't. So he starts nitpicking away at him. I think the Yog Panther was really wanted to go after me, obviously, because this is what happens when you turn your back on an E-25. And keep in mind, this is a tier 7 tank destroyer. I decided to back up because I know the arty may be shooting him. And again, another one stolen from me. Oh, and then there's the other E-25 taking a shot at me. I have 480 versus his 168, but then I see the VK there, and I'm like, ah, okay, well, maybe I'll wait then. And I try to get a cheeky little shot here. Well, I kill the VK at least. I get a bad ricochet there, and somebody. Oh, okay, I did get him. So I get 2 kills, and there's the Tiger and a Tiger P left with the artillery. And I just know, this has happened to me a couple times now, I just know that around this corner, any second now, is going to become the other Tiger. But I keep going anyways, I don't know why. I guess because it's like one of those fated things. So, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can just sneak a shot. Oh, I missed that one. So I do get killed here, but we'll go ahead and play it out to the end just for the sake of watching this match. The M41 kills the Tiger P. That leaves the Tiger. And I'm sorry I wasn't floating around the map or checking out the... not sure why I'm looking at my tank and damage. Maybe I'm just kind of mourning my tank. Oh, it died. So then I zoom in on the other E-25. So he's got 5 kills. He's zooming over to the other side of the map. I know where that Tiger is. I've got XVM. As all good players do, right? Well, at least all the players want slight edges. I noticed on XVM now, I don't know if you can see it on my... Oh, and somebody else got him. But I don't know if you can see it, but there are actually little green dots where your friendly tanks have died. So they now mark out... That may have been a setting, but I've got that function now on mine, so... Okay, so here's the stats on the El Haluf battle that you just watched. You can see a wide range of tanks that were spotted. I spotted the Dickermax. I didn't even realize I did. I spotted the Yog Panther. Didn't realize. I don't think I realized I did. The Tiger and the Tiger P and the Tiger I also did some spotting on. So essentially, the team score. Excuse me. I was expecting this E-25 with the 5 kills to, clean the floor with me, but what actually happened was, why is it showing up? Oh, because I died. What actually happened was I edged him out in XP. So, I mean, he did do massive damage, more than me. But in terms of experience, I mean, I was number 1. So I was kind of like, when the final screen came up, and obviously it sorts by XP, not by damage, I was shocked to be at the top. So, and you can see from that there was 1,761 spotting damage, as well as the 2,324 damage that I did. 40 shots fired, 27 direct hits, and 21 penetrations. Again, not great. I mean, that's probably not good for my norm. That's only 50% penetrations. But to be fair, this was a tier 8 match, wasn't it? No. This is a tier... What? Hold on. I can't even remember now. I think it was just a tier 7, wasn't it? Yeah, tier 7. Tier 7 match. So not overly challenging. Should have been able to do better, but... Anyway, so again, in terms of people interested in money making, 65,000 credits again on that one, and I don't believe I fired any APCR in that battle whatsoever. So that was El Haluf. Okay, this one's on Sand River. Interesting that the replay system chooses to title these, or the game system, game software titles these Desert. This must have been one of the early maps, I would guess. So even though they decided to call it Sand River, in the North American servers, they must have originally referred to this map as Desert. Anyways, you know, I played this game for freaking 2 years, and I've played whatever, near 15,000 matches, and I do not memorize map names the way other players do. I don't know what it is. I mean, it wasn't until just recently, really, that I, like, you know, people would go, oh, well, you just played a battle on blah, 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 and I'd be like, which one is that? So maybe it's my old fart brain where I can't quite, you know, I don't want to dedicate memory space for that type of thing. But anyways, let's move on. So I decided to find a nice juicy place for the E-25. And I don't normally take this route, but since I'm in a new kind of class tank, because I don't really think that another kind of tank like this exists in the game, I decided to push up here to the middle of the map, which I normally scoff at players who go to the middle. And, you know, you're surrounding yourself with enemy fire. Although there are some maps that I do play that way. Like, is it Ensk with the river that runs through it? Okay, so I try to... So I sit here for a little bit and try to figure out... This actually, I'm going to speed it up to ×2. An IS-3 comes up there, and I probably had a shot at him briefly, but didn't want to disclose my position. At this point, though, I am kind of spotting, because I have learned that spotting damage is definitely a thing this tank can do well. So I'm trying to spot for my team and potentially knock out any easy targets. Again, more whining about in the player chat about people who don't know what teams are. Yes, teams play and they don't chat online while you're trying to like win a game. So then I was a little worried about this KV-4 because even though I did not ping him, I should have. I think somebody does ping him. That's why I don't end up pinging him. But he doesn't really give me a very good target until about here when I could potentially track him at least, which I decide to do. Well, I decide to do it and try it again, and I do. I noticed that my reticle was giving me a green indicator. I guess towards there must be a weak spot in the center of his vertical middle plate there. So he's still not shooting at me. I decided to track him again just to keep him there. And again, remember, I'm probably the person who spotted him, so I'm getting some decent spotting damage by keeping him spotted too. Okay, this is the shot. This is the shot. This is the shot. Did you see that? Did you see that? That is all I had of that top turret on the ARL V39, and it hit. I mean, if that isn't an accurate gun, it could be a fluke, but you know, from what I'm seeing, this gun pretty much, if you fully aimed, which I believe I was in that. Let me just go back. I've slowed it down to quarter speed. So here I go. I'm aiming at the ARL. I was like, this is an insane shot, but I will go ahead and take it. You see, I'm already fully aimed pretty much by the time I get over there. Whoosh, boom. I love that shot. I think I'm going to remember that shot for a long time, even though it's not the last shot I'm going to get on that ARL, but I'm going to try to get some more. So let me speed it up a little bit at this point because I think there's just a lot of maneuvering. I try to get a shot on this IS-6, but no joy. Yep. And then I think, okay, I look at the other side and I see it on the south, all those guys over there. So I'm like, well, maybe if I move up here. Well, actually, first I thought maybe if I move up here, I can get a shot on these guys over here, like this Su-152. But he's actually on the other side of the ridge, so that's not going to work. And then at some point, I see the guys behind me that are giving my team trouble. And I realize that I'm not going to be able to take shots at any of these guys unless I want to really, really go up and fully go on, you know, man mode in this thing and like essentially go around the bend up there. Then I see the ARL again, and I'm like, oh, he's back for more. So I move over here, which also, again, alerts me to what's going on in the south. And first I search for targets to see if anybody's going to show up. I'm just kind of spotting for my team. And sure enough, look, there's a T-34. And he's just now coming up the hill. And there, tracked him and did damage. Hit him again, and he died. Again, someone stole my damn kill. Now, I don't really actually look at that way when I'm playing. I'm fine with just doing stuff and partially killing him. This poor Hellcat. I'm about to shoot the Hellcat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Hellcat. I mean, but let's review. Here I am, TD, pointing over at a target, and you are a TD also, and you're about to do that. You know, I mean, come on. Don't think I'm not shooting at stuff. I mean, it was partially my fault, I'm sure, but that really irks me that players, and this is happening a lot when I'm playing TDs. Maybe it's because so many new players are potentially either playing TDs or I don't know what the deal is, but essentially they should just be more careful. Okay, I knew this IS-6 was trouble, so I decided to try to keep him spotted at least. Let me go back into my... And I'm looking around, obviously, back there to see if any of these guys can spot me yet. And they can't. And then I think, okay, well, this ARL is definitely going to be a problem at some point, so let me go ahead and try to take him out. And again, he doesn't see me, I don't think. I think this entire time I'm in cover. I'll be actually very interested to get Sixth Sense on this tank, so that I could actually throw another crew in there that I have Sixth Sense on. Because actually I'd be curious to see how often this tank does not become disclosed, even when you're in a pretty open position like this. Its base camo level must be really low. I mean, again, see, that Tiger should be spotting me right now. And now I'm hitting him, he probably does see me now, obviously, but... So then I thought, oh, he's got the early turret. Shoot the turret, shoot the turret. No, I'm still not getting it. Shoot turret, shoot turret. And one more shot. Oh, that bounced. One more shot. I'm not even going for the hatch there. And then I, again, these two are moving up, so I decide to pummel them a bit when they get a little higher. I still want to get that ARL, damn it. Or does someone already get him? No, he's still over there. I take just a blind shot thinking he might be in cover. My team's doing pretty well. They're not a great layout in terms of deployment. Like that IS-3 just seems like he's all alone. I guess he's just got the ISU-152 and the M5 to deal with. But I honestly think we may, without me right here in this center position, lighting these guys up, we may have, this may have been a fail. So in terms of a game changer, I believe in this battle at least, the E-25 doing what I was doing, even though I was only being an annoyance to some of these tanks, I was still doing a good yeoman's service, yeoman's whatever that sleeping thing is. I didn't realize that the FCM was dead by that point, so I was trying to still spot for him. I was like, oh, can I just give me the side of your turret? 84. So as you can see, we're doing much better now. The KV-4, Yog Panther, the V-39, and the M5 Stuart are the only tanks left on the enemy team. I decided, okay, I guess I'll have to go for the hatch here. Ooh, that one widely missed. I don't believe I get him, but, you know, he is a... Why I'm shooting slightly... I don't think that reticle is on target for the actual game. I wouldn't have been shooting over to the right like that. So I should have probably stayed up on the hill and moved over to the camo area. Why I did this, I don't know. This was a mistake. Because the other two tanks... The Yog Panther is actually AFK, so he's just sitting there to the end. The M5 Stuart decided to go hide, I guess. He's down in the pond here. And this was rather a silly maneuver for me to be doing, but I did it anyways because I was kind of like, had been so, you know, on edge with all this stuff. Plus, I am kind of in test out mode for the tank to see what it can take. Like, going down that hill and keeping my tracks was a good indication that it's got pretty solid tracks. So they've spotted the Yog Panther and they're starting to pummel it, I believe. I don't really get too much more here. We'll speed this up to ×2. I got a couple, maybe one or two shots here on this guy. And somebody else finishes him off, and then I try to get a shot at the V-39 and someone else finishes him off. So that was an end to an El Haluf battle. And again, 2,400 damage, only one kill. I will show you the stats though. Okay, here's the stats for that battle on Sand River. Darn it. I want to say desert. Sand River, Sand River. Okay, so we got a Confederates badge with that one. We got 74,000 raw credits, 2,128. That was just a ×1. We were not the top tank. Oh yeah, we were the top tank on that battle again. So 2 times in a row without a lot of kills. We were the top tank. I mean the 110 did a little about 900 more damage than us with 2 kills, but he got 1053. So again, this story is 1592 in damage upon detecting. So that's really going to start to add up for cashola, in terms of if you're playing this for money as a premium. If you can do a good job spotting as well as doing a serious amount of damage, you are going to rake in the dough on this one. Okay, so this is my final battle I'm going to show you today. I believe this was number 7 because there's one other one, and I'm not going to do that one. It was pitiful. I'm not going to show you. So 7 was the charm. I almost did stop at 7 actually. So this is epic battle actually. I probably just should have made a video on this one battle, but it was epic in a couple of ways, which I will not disclose before the end. But let's go ahead and see how it unfolds. Typical kind of Fisherman's Bay battle. Again, I'm trying to figure out where I want to take this tank versus the way I usually fight. And I decide to play it a little bit again like a scout, that's a capable scout if it runs in trouble. So I'm going to run up here to the buildings in the center, which again I do not normally do, especially maybe if I'm in a really good medium tank like a T-54, a T-44, or something like that, or a Patton, something with some staying power and some firepower. And I don't play a lot of scouts, so that's probably my other disadvantage. For example, I have a T-50 and it's not even maxed out yet, or XP'd maxed. So I get a shot there on the T-45, T-34-85. Try to get another cheeky snapshot there, but don't. I'm a little worried about that T-29, and talk about stupidity. That is dumb, bringing a heavy up to that line. He doesn't last long, though, if I remember correctly. Or he might move into the town, actually. This part is not the epic part. This is the, okay, alright, when is it going to get interesting part, I'm sure. But it's about after I leave the town, pretty much, where things change. You can see our team's doing pretty well. We killed a Cromwell. Pretty good dispersion or deployment. I don't like the fact that KV-1S is all the way up there by himself. And he's got an ARL and E2 lagging behind. I'm trying to obviously keep these guys from really getting much of a, and I totally missed that ELC, but he's slow and flat like me, and I thought I was essentially a goner at this point because, again, look, there's a T-34 and another T-34-85, 2 T-34-85s against 1 E-25, and they're not moving in and flanking me. Now this guy says, okay, I'll move in and flank. But, dude, I'm already reloaded. I was reloaded like 3 seconds after I fired. You can see, though, this thing can take some damage. What you don't want to do is the artillery was aiming at me and trying to zero in on me, so obviously I was not doing well there. I wanted this other guy dead, too, obviously. And somebody got to him before me. So that pretty much cleared up the middle. So I decided to go help the western flank versus the eastern flank because, number one, I don't think this thing would perform all that well in the city. It might, I guess, if you were good at, just total driving skill. But I wanted some open terrain here where I could really fire at stuff. And I can see I can get very top edge of that Panzer IV, but I miss, and somebody else doesn't miss. So I do not get him. I have 1 kill at this point, and there's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemies dead, and one of them was me. But it does not end that way. I won't hype it too much, though. Let me put it this way. I died in this battle. And Apparently this tank is pretty good at ramming, because if you noticed, I just rammed a heavy medium, a well-armored medium, and only did 135 damage to myself. This guy I don't think ever sees me, or if I'm visible, he doesn't even think to look at me. Maybe he doesn't think he can hit me where I'm shooting him, you know, in a hull down position. He probably couldn't have, actually. And I somehow managed to get that shot off before he ducks behind the hill, or ducks behind cover. So then, this is where it starts to get interesting. So I've got an SU-152, full health, been sitting back here, probably taking a few pot shots here and there. An SU-152, I believe with a 122mm gun, not the derp gun. And I don't want to give him an easy shot. And then, of course, I see the Hummel. So the Hummel must die. The Hummel does take 3 shots, but the Hummel does die. So there we are. Now we're up to 4 kills. That was easy. And this SU-152 wants to get a cheeky shot on me, but I said, no! My speed and maneuverability will kill you. Well, at least we'll thwart you. And then I see this Jagdpanther over there, and I knew he was AFK. But this is how casually you can play this tank. I can fire at that Jagdpanther, reload in quick enough time. Now I didn't know it was hitting me there. I found out later it's the SU-122-44. But killing that Jagdpanther is also good for me because it removed a potential spotting source. Now I'm going to do this. I'm going to zoom out because, yeah, I'm going to zoom out because, zoom back out. Zoom back out. There we go. No, that's, yeah. I'm going to zoom out because watch this. I mean, look at this. Excuse me, Mr. SU-152, but you can't hit me like that. You wouldn't have hit me ever, because I don't think he has the gun depression to actually... Now, he could have run over me, let's be fair. I'm not sure he could have. He might have been able to, with enough momentum, get on top of me, and of course, I'm not sure who would have died first. I had 62 hit points left, so he has 57. We probably both would have died. But no, that isn't what happens. I kill him. Now I'm up to 6. So I have secured my top gun. And now I'm trying to just not get hit. And you can notice there's a lot of incoming fire. I'm trying to get in a safe position. Or reset at least. And he keeps shooting at me. I'm looking over here. Where is he? He was right there. He does light up there at some point. I should have probably taken a couple of pot shots, but now, given hindsight, I probably shouldn't have, considering it was a very good SU-122-44 driver. I believe he had WN6 like way up in the 70s and maybe 80s I think. So literally this was the one really good player on their team. You can see he's already got 3 kills. That's probably why my enemy the other flank was holding off, even though he was the only one. He was showing up down there, right? But the entire time he was back, he was more like at K5 the entire time. So I don't know what my enemy team's doing. I guess they're trying to screen to make sure it doesn't get by. Or they're thinking, the wonder tank, the E-25 will win the day and we can just sit back here. I really wish they had moved up quicker or had been moved up more rapidly, because... Or I'd understood the battle better, because I would have told them, hey, he's down there at K5 or closer, because I think I did ping the map at one point, but I didn't verbally say, hey, what are you waiting for? He's not down there. Because sure enough, boom, there he is. Now, I have the jump on him. He doesn't see me. And he's attacking this. I should have won here. This was all me. Totally my fault. Bounced off the back of a SU-2022-44. I should have tracked him. I didn't trap him. What the heck was that shot at the mantlet? I get one shot there. He misses. I get one more shot, I think. And then I decide to try to get away, but no, he's got me. So then I'm thinking, okay, well, he's a 76 hit point, really good player and a really good tank, because I play the SU-122-44 all the time, and I think if you've watched my Tale of Two Bradleys video, you know that that tank is not to be underestimated under any circumstances. So, of course, with my 6 kills and his 5, I did not want him to get... well, if we'd won and he got 6, I still would have got Top Gun, I believe. But if he got 7 hits or 7 kills, I lose my Top Gun. So, essentially, here's my team rolling up. I think I do click over to another tank here at some point. Yeah. So here's the Su-152. He's got the derp. I'm rolling up slowly, slowly. They don't even. I mean, this is the wrong way to play this. When you know that you're dealing with a 6 or 5, now 6 kill, but a 5 kill tank destroyer who's in cover, who's not visible, you do not under any circumstances send your team to cap just thinking, oh well, we've got more tanks than him, he'll be destroyed. I mean, again, Tale of Two Radley's video with the pass on Pearl River, I mean, these tanks just kept coming, and they kept coming in intervals, to which point I could just keep shooting them and keep knocking 400 hit points off them. Anyways, I'm sorry. I know I'm kind of ranting at this, but I'm still mad that I lost this Top Gun. We do win the game, but I lost the Top Gun. Damn it! I wanted my first Top Gun in E-25. Like, what is this M6 doing? If you're going to do this, then see those bushes and those rocks over there? You go up that way and get around him. I mean, at one point they did have an M4, because I saw him kind of zoom into cap, and he must have killed him first. That's how he got his 6. And finally somebody, the M6 to his credit does kill him finally. Now he has 7 kills. So here's the replay on the E-25 stolen Top Gun. Well, he didn't really steal. He earned it. So this one is, again, ×1, 2,444 experience, 84,000 credits. I netted 73,000 credits on that game. I did almost 3,000 damage, 2,903 damage, with another almost 1,000 in detecting. I fired 34 times, with 26 direct hits and 24 penetrations, so my average went up on that game. That's good. I was hit 9 times with 4 penetrations and 1 splash damage and 5 non-penetrations. Potential damage received 2460. So look at that number. That number is impressive. What do I have? 800 and something hit points. That's 4 times my base hit point level. So you can see that this tank can take a lot of abuse if you get the right shots. Obviously, the shots that don't penetrate, the shots that don't actually, that aren't aimed quite as well. So, again, here I am at the top, dead, with 1,358 experience, base experience, I guess, and 2,903 damage. The enemy Su-122-44, to his credit, one's pets did 3,987 damage and got 800. If he'd only won that game, he would have just cleaned up. But anyway, so that's my final gameplay video I'm going to show you today for the E-25. Hope you enjoyed these. Kind of wrapping up. It's a good tank. It certainly is worth the 6,700 or so gold that I think the tank costs. I'm no doubt that the tank will probably be nerfed at some point, because players, can you imagine a 5-game E-25, like 5 E-25s on one team? They would just be, oh my god, they'd be like a swarm of locusts. So I can definitely see this tank being nerfed. I don't know what they'll do. They'll either obviously make it easier to kill, or potentially less accurate over long range, which is kind of a shame, because if the Germans had successfully been able to build a little tank like this that was as quick as it is and housed 4 crew, I think that might actually be the thing to nerf, is the number of crew, because as we know, the more crew you have, the more potential multipliers you have for skills. So maybe if this tank only had 3 crew, then that would potentially have changed some of the variables. Certainly on camo and things like that, it would have helped. Anyways, just throwing some stuff out there. If you enjoyed this video, please like, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel already, I would love it if you'd subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, this is probably going to be one of my longer videos, so if you like them this long, let me know. If you don't like them this long, let me know. And I'd appreciate all the feedback we can get. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.